Okay, now I've saved the aloe for its own video because it's not complicated, but it's very important that people understand why you use it, how you use it, because the way we do it is unique. Now, as I was saying to a friend, it's such a great idea, and I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. But if you do this, this is not only for our procedures, but anytime you get a burn, etc., it works so much better. Now, if you had a burn, let's say you were cooking and you burned your finger or your hand, if you take the aloe and you spread it on, you have this yucky goo, and it either gets rubbed off by your clothes or whatever, and it evaporates. So it helps, but not to the degree that you would like. Now, the reason we use it, again, as I said before, is that sometimes people will get inflammation of the skin if there's an area where they've had a fair amount of the medicine that basically all collects. So let's say I've injected 4 veins and they ending up the same spot. It may be that area ends up with a fair amount of the medicine. So what we want to do is protect the skin, especially with people who are fair skin, light eyes, etc. They tend to be more sensitive. So what we do is we have them use aloe. Now, this is a trick that you want to do it right, but it's really very simple. So let's say you had an area that were this big that became inflamed. So what I would do is kind of sort of measure it out, and I cut it and cut the spines. Okay, then you open it up. Now some people will use a scissors. And then you open it like a book, and then you'll lay it right on top of that spot. Now I'm not going to do it because I don't want to ruin my pants, but you'll lay it right there. Now, then you cover it with, actually, let me see. Do we have any of those? Yeah, the tape's right there that are right there. We happen to have these tapes, thank you, that work really well. So let's pretend this is the leg, and I'm going to, this is not quite big enough, but I'm basically going to adhere that. I'll use another one just to show you. Adhere that to the skin. Okay, so pretend that's there. Now, the reason that this is so great is that you have ongoing contact of the aloe goo, and you have the coating that keeps it from evaporating. And the interesting thing is it actually penetrates below the skin surface. So this works beautifully. Now, if somebody has had, really significant inflammatory response to our medicine, even if they just have discomfort where we've done the laser, where their leg really is fine, but they say it's uncomfortable, we found that patients, even using it for that, helps. And I think it's the anti-inflammatory property. But we have people do this, and usually at the end of 4 hours, the aloe goo, for lack of a better term, has largely dried up. So then we have them remove that, and then we do the same thing again. We cut another piece, we cut the spines off, open it up, put it on, and then put an adhesive bandage. Now, you don't need to use this. This is very expensive, but if you will get a big Band-Aid, which I think I had before, but basically any big Band-Aid you can put around it. Now the problem is, because it's so gooey, it tends to keep the Band-Aid from adhering, so you just sort of do the best you can. It also, well, of course we're treating legs, and a lot of times if you're wearing, let's say a longer dress or a skirt or pants, it doesn't want to stay in place. But since a lot of times people are going home and they're taking it easy anyhow, it works fine. But I encourage people, again, if you have a burn here, take this, cut off the spines, open it up, put it on, and then put some sort of Band-Aid on. But I burned myself on Thanksgiving and didn't do this, and I ended up with a horrible burn, and I could kill myself because I know better. But ideally, everybody should have one of these in their fridge. And what I tell people to do is to get one. If you put it in a Ziploc baggie, and they're huge Ziploc baggies, it will usually last about 4 to 6 weeks. Now, it'll start looking yucky. It'll start looking red, brown, etc. But if you cut this off, then you'll see that there's still healthy aloe that is still usable. But it looks funny, but I'll tell you, it works. Now, it's tricky to find it. A lot of people, when they see this, if I check out at Whole Foods or Harris Teeter, they look at me funny because they don't know what it is. And this is in the produce section. It's not in the plant section. So you need to go, fruits and vegetables, etc., and find this. Now, a lot of times you go in and you can't find it. And this one I happen to find at Whole Foods. Well, I have talked to the manager, and very often it will be in the back. So, and the just normal people who are stocking, etc., will have no idea what it is or where it is. So ask for the manager. Very often it's in the back. They have it in water, and they know, and they'll get it out. But a lot of times you really have to search for it. At the international food stores, a lot of times we'll call ahead. Since we have everybody do this, we tend to deplete the area supply of aloe, although I try to have them keep it in stock. But I encourage you to get one of these before we even start treatment. And I promise you, you will thank me, because it really does help. So if you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully by doing the demonstration, this will make more sense to you.